excited about this interview we're about to do right now. It's 9:22. The most produced play of last season is taking center stage right here in Cincinnati. Clyde is the work of Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Lynn Nottage. And the New York Times said the play about dark things, including prison, drugs, homelessness, and poverty, somehow turns them into bright comedy. Two of the stars are with us this morning from the Playhouse. Michael Chenevert and Maisha McQueen. Welcome. I'm so happy to talk to you both.
Good to be here.
So Maisha, why don't we start, because you play Clyde.
I do.
The head of the diner. Set the scene for this show.
Well, you have Pennsylvania, you have a sandwich shop at a truck stop, you have a woman who's also an ex-felon who hires ex-felons, you have a very diverse group of people, you have a man who does his best to instill positivity and empowerment in those people, and then you have Clyde's energy that somehow is pulling in the opposite direction, but then we get a little further, we see that she also maybe has aspired to do other things in her life. So I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah.
That sets the scene of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Now, Maisha touched on your character a little bit, Michael, but tell us more.
Montrellis, formerly incarcerated. There is a big reveal at the end of why he was incarcerated as well. But what he is the person who's trying to instill hope.
Right.
With the other formerly incarcerated individuals who work at the sandwich shop. But yeah, the sandwich is a metaphor pretty much of how to put all your mess, all the mess that you have in your life, and put it into your sandwich. You know, put it into your sauce, your special sauce, put it into every part, every ingredient tells a story of your life.
Okay.
So it becomes a metaphor for joy and hope and forgiveness.
I mean, and everybody has a mess.
Yes.
I think the message in this is beautiful, and I know that Lynn Nottage actually has stories in her life of being, having family members who were incarcerated.
Yes.
And this is really important to start raising this conversation in our society. How can drama do that in a good way?
Oh, I think, people always say, theater or drama can give you a mirror to what's going on in the world. I would go even further to say it helps you to see it in a certain way, right? We look at the news, we hear the statistics, and these things we become sort of numb to and accustomed to. But the beautiful thing about theater is that it zeroes it down to a very specific story. And in falling in love with and having empathy for those characters, you then think about those things in a new way.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I sort of see it.
I mentioned that New York Times review that said this play takes dark topics and makes them lighter or makes them comic. How do you think that makes a difference with audiences, Michael?
Well, I mean, like she just said, the more specific you are, the more universal it is for an audience. I mean, some of our best comedians of the day, Richard Pryor, he talks about, those parts of his life that are very specific to him. I think the beauty in the writing is that she's very specific about these characters, even though they are archetypes and stereotypes that you've seen coming out of prison and whatnot. But the fact that we take it on, and I would give ode to our director, Tim Douglas, who basically had us do table work for a whole week where we had to talk about these characters and really bring them specific to our own lives. So as she said, the more specific you are, the more universal it is. And I think that you're going to see, most audiences are going to see themselves here. Whether or not they were formerly incarcerated or not, they're going to see those parts of themselves that are prisons for themselves, So they'll find freedom through that, and joy and hope.
Now, Michael, you're known to Cincinnati audiences. Your first time in Cincinnati, Maisha?
No, I actually was here back in 2017 with Waitress the Musical. We played the Arnoff, so.
Well, then I saw you in that show. That was an incredible show, and I know you were on stage with Sarah Bareilles in New York, and you just came from Gander, Newfoundland, from Come From Away.
I did.
Is it important to you guys to play a wide range of roles? I know you've played historical characters. You've done one-woman shows. What are you particularly enjoying about this one?
Ooh.
Well, we're still trying to figure that out.
But it's still fairly new.
We're still figuring that out. But yeah, playing different characters is great, but what you do is you find yourself in most of them. So, I mean, I did Adam Clayton Powell at the Aronoff as well, and I found myself in there, and I found a relationship to my dad in there. So, so every particular piece is a journey.
That's
I would
neat.
say. Yeah.
I think for me, it's just, you know, meeting new people, meeting new artists, meeting people and hearing their stories and seeing how they, as Michael said, how they tell the story through them, right? That's so fascinating to me. You know, that's the thing about theater and traveling and doing shows, is that you have 3 months to become very intimate with people and to share some of your deepest, darkest secrets and fears and wants and hopes and dreams, and then you put it on stage to share with the world, and then when it closes, you're like, that was beautiful.
On to the next.
What a life. What a
On to the
life.
next,
Well, it was
yeah.
such a pleasure to talk with both of you.
Wonderful.
Clyde is at the Playhouse through November 5th. You can find tickets. I went and checked. There are still some available. CincyPlay.com. Michael and Maisha, thank you.
very much.
Break a
Sheila.
leg.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
From breaking news to feel-good stories, Local 12 has it all. Tap subscribe and hit the links to find out more.